Good morning, everybody. It's SimmerationX here, and I'm back with another speed build. I hope everyone who is participating in our latest giveaway is having fun with counting the flags. I know it is not really simple to count all the flags, but that is the point. If it's too easy, it won't be fun, right? So good luck with that, everyone who has entered so far and everyone who is going to enter after either coming across that video or this video. But with this speed build, I know I told you guys before that sometimes I kind of go on Pinterest or Google sometimes to find a reference, but other times I kind of build a house off of a story, and I don't necessarily know exactly what the house is going to look like, or even I don't even completely know what I want the house to look like until I kind of finish making up the story in my mind of the sim that I want to build a house for. And this is one of those times. So this house, I didn't have a plan. The only thing I knew is, of course, it was going to be traditional because we're back over to the more traditional side of Newcrest. So the opposite side is where the modern builds are. And the last build I did was the A-frame. But we're back over here to the traditional side. And this house, again, is for a couple. They don't have any children. Excuse me. This couple doesn't have any children. The male, I knew I wanted him to be a very studious sim. And I finally landed on the fact that he is a professor. So he is a professor of psychology. He's a psychiatrist. And he's also a little bit famous. He has his own radio show where he kind of gives people advice. It's not like a hotline. It's a call-in where people share their stories, and he listens to them and he advises them, and he also goes around and does lectures. So you guys can choose which university he's a professor at. He is married, and he is Leonard. And when you say Leonard, most people say Leonard, and he says Leonard. His name is Leonard. But anyway, his name is Leonard Dankworth. And Mr. Leonard Dankworth is married to Birdie. So Leonard and Birdie Dankworth, I would say they are around 35. They're starting to get to where they're going to be those full-grown adults. They have this big, huge house because, for one, they were already pretty well off, and they're very well off after they combine their income. But they have not been able to conceive. And Birdie has been struggling with that, and she's had some mental health issues because of it. She's been a little depressed. And Leonard, he got a little bit depressed himself because he, as a psychiatrist, did not know how to help his wife get through the rut after they were not able to conceive. Now, she's kind of through that. All of her plants and flowers, she kind of threw herself into gardening when she found out she was not going to be able to get pregnant and have a biological child. So you're going to see a lots of flowers and shrubs here in the front. I think I'm going to do it in the back as well. This is only part one, so I only have the front done. If you guys want to give any suggestions about what I should put in the back, go ahead, go for it. I'm not going to put a pool in the back though. I know that one for sure because of the storyline that I made up in my mind. Birdie wanted to have a lot of kids, and she was concerned about having a pool in the backyard. She had an incident when she was younger where she almost drowned, so she didn't want a pool in the back. So there's that. And also they're kind of through that dark area, that dark time, and they've come to terms with the fact that they're not going to have a biological child, and they are now discussing the possibility of either becoming foster parents or adopting. So they don't know which one they're going to do right now, but the biggest thing is Birdie is not depressed anymore. She has accepted reality, and she's decided to move on, and that having a biological kid is not that big of a deal for her. It was never a big deal for Leonard. He let her know it was not an issue, not a problem, but she kind of felt like it was her fault because she was the one who couldn't conceive. And Birdie, excuse me, guys, a little thing about Birdie. Birdie was a Davenport. That is her maiden name. And her full name is Birdie Estelle Davenport. And she always had an issue with that. She was not really happy about her name being Birdie, for one. But for two, with her middle name being Estelle, that meant that her initials spelled bed. And she was not very happy when she realized that, and her mother didn't even think of it when she named her. And it kind of implied to people that she was a little loose, but she's not. Birdie Estelle Davenport is not and has never been loose, but she sure did get a lot of jokes about it. So it was kind of a bummer too when she realized that she fell in love with a Dankworth. So even when she changed her last name, her initials still spelled bed. So poor little Birdie, she still gets the jokes about that. She is, I was going to say she is a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So Birdie does not have a job. She's at home full-time, but what she does do, she writes. She loves to write in her spare time. Birdie is a little artistic. She dabbles a little bit with painting, but she's not the best painter. It's not like really great. She's kind of average. It won't hurt your eyes to look at her paintings. Let's put it like that. But she loves to write little short stories in her spare time, and she is really, really good at writing. And she has produced a few short stories that are really good. And Leonard has been trying to get her to publish them, or at least work with maybe a magazine so that her short stories could be published there. So he's working on her, trying to get her to self-publish or work with a magazine so her stories can get out there, because he really enjoys them and he wants her to have a little bit more confidence in the work that she does, and plus have a little bit more to do. He feels like she's gotten a little bit extra with all of the plants and going on with the garden and the flowers. So he wants her to kind of focus on her other hobbies, so she doesn't put so much time into just one thing. And plus, he just thinks it'll be good for her all the way around. He's kind of pushy on this topic because he really enjoys her stories, but he's not a controlling husband. So that is not Leonard. He's a little bit clumsy at times, but he also has this offbeat sense of humor. Leonard and Birdie actually met outside of the States. They're from the States, they're from America, but they were both overseas. They were both in Paris, and typically Leonard's clumsiness comes at the most unopportune times. But this time, him being clumsy helped him to meet Birdie. That's the story that I'm going with. So they were both at this really nice cafe in Paris, but they did not meet there. She was there. One of the waiters spilled a bit of coffee on her favorite dress, and she was just mortified because she loved that dress. She had just gotten it from her shopping spree while she was in Paris. And she did not want it ruined, and she just knew that that coffee thing was just going to be ruined. It had been raining that day, and Leonard, with his clumsy self, slipped in a mud puddle and ripped his pants at the same cafe. However, they didn't meet there, like I told you. So Birdie took her dress to a cleaner's that was nearby. And because Leonard had split his pants and he was embarrassed, and he was going to be doing some public speaking that day and did not have time to get back to the room that he was staying at, he ended up at the same dry cleaner. So they were both at the same cafe at the same time, did not meet there, but they met at the dry cleaner and bumped into each other. They like to tell people that they met at the cafe because they feel like it sounds better. And they tell people that he was the one who bumped into her and made her spill her coffee. But yeah, that's not the way it really went down. They actually met at the cleaners, and he split his pants. But he felt like that was embarrassing. He will not let her tell the correct version of the story. Okay. And it's not Birdie's idea to kind of fabricate the actual meeting. It was Leonard's, and it was because he's just so embarrassed about slipping and ripping his pants and everyone seeing his underpants, his heart underpants. So that is that. That's the beginning background that I have for this story. I'm thinking some of the other houses, the one, man, I can't even remember the lot name right now that I built over here, but the other traditional house, not the base game house, the other one, I kind of started having a story for those guys as well. And I'm thinking once I finish building Newcrest, either I will play out the storyline, or maybe K Major will play out the storyline that I start up. But definitely let me know if you want to hear a little bit more about the Sims that I built this house for. Excuse me. This is, again, part 1. I'll be back for part 2. I think I'm going to go on the inside and start the inside of the house, and then wrap up the backyard later, because I'm not 100% in what I want to do. So guys, feel free to put some ideas in the back. As you can see, there's a park like in the back and off to the side. So I wasn't going to do like any playset area, because again, this was the reason why Leonard and Birdie built the house here, because of the 2 little small parks there, and they could still have their backyard. But go for it, go at it, excuse me. If you like my little storyline and you want to hear more about the Sims that I build these houses for, let me know and I will share that. I'm thinking of maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do a live. I still might do this pre-recorded, but let me know if you would like me to slow it down and let the build go in real time, and you hear why I make some of the design choices that I make. But that wraps up this episode. Thank you everyone who has tuned in or who will tune in, and thanks to everyone who have entered the giveaway. Good luck, and we will be announcing the winner on the 26th. Bye guys.